Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's for the fairies and the pixies and the good folk, am I right? Life is wonderful and magical, but only if you choose to believe, receive and achieve. Paraphrasing one of my quotes I wrote recently. Just going to open the window. It's a bit hot. It's a glorious day outside. Really, really pretty day. A good day to be alive. As good a day as any. So today's memories from the 24th of April 2024 are entitled Childhood Frenemies, Intuitions that manifested rather quickly, COVID cabin fever, and a new hobby that is spiritually led, smiley face. And I posted a photo up of Charlie, which I titled, Now Charlie is in the Coffee Tree. And she blends in quite well in the coffee tree. She's outside in the garden being Charlie, doing her best work, being the best possible birdie she can be. I've been sitting outside with her and I had 2 pieces of toast with pastrami and cucumbers sliced on top for breakfast, and 2 cups of tea. This is the remnant of the second cup. I'm astonishingly feel quite tired today. My eyes are actually sore, which is not good, but it is what it is. And I woke up very early at 6 o'clock and put myself back to sleep, and I woke up at 7 and put myself back to sleep, and I woke up at 8. And then I had a very weird repetitive dream that I've been dreaming, quite frequently. Frequent flyer, that dream. And yes, I'll tell you about it before I get into our readings while it's fresh in my mind. And the emotions in it are really intense, powerful emotions. But anyway, I'm in some kind of pub or, hotel somewhere where they serve, alcohol, and they also have a bistro and serve meals. And it's a crowded pub. And I go to order a drink, and I don't know how it comes about, but someone says to me, "We've been trying to get hold of you, Tanya, but we haven't got your phone number." And I said, "Oh, well, that's a bit odd, isn't it?" And so I see it written down, Tanya Aaron's, my phone number, written down like in chalk paint on the floor. So I don't know how that came about. Didn't make sense. So it's there on the floor, written down. They look at me like it's the most completely normal thing in the world, like everything I do in the stream is normal, but it's actually quite surrealist. It wouldn't be like that in real life at all. I spent about an hour reminding myself of how ridiculous and ludicrous that dream was when I woke up. I was deconstructing it, going, that's rubbish, that's just weird. What are you doing? Your brain's dying. Stop it now, Tanya. And it's kind of funny because I analyse myself sometimes. But anyway, the person behind the bar says, "Yeah, we've been trying to get hold of you, Tanya, because you've got all your stuff in one of our storage sheds up the back." There was 3 like brand new looking storage sheds. And I had, it's a common nightmare to dream about having all my mother's chattels and stuff and feeling overwhelmed, because that did actually happen in real life. So I had offloaded quite a bit of stuff into the storage shed, but I must have got a key from somewhere. This is the part of the dream that doesn't make sense. I had a key to it, but I never paid rent on the storage facility, but I had all my stuff stored there of this pub. It's like odd, doesn't make sense. And they said, yeah, we just want you to, you know, we want to do something to the storage shed, and we realise you've got all your stuff in there, Tanya, and you haven't been paying rent. And I said, well, you never charged me rent. I said, I thought you were okay with it. In real life, that would never happen. Mama T always pays her way. Unless I had an arrangement where they said I could store it for free, I'd be paying, am I right? So even in the dream, I'm like, what's going on here? I always pay my way. And I said, but you never charged me rent. In fact, I was going to bring it up. You know, I've had this stuff there for a year now. It's time we started, you know, making an arrangement. They said, no, we want you to get your stuff out, Tanya, because we want to do something with the sheds. So I looked at them. I was a bit upset because moving chattels. And I said, oh, no, that's okay. That's fair enough. They said, you owe us $15,000 in rent, though. So I went, $15,000? And they went, yeah. And I went, well, why didn't you tell me that months ago? I would have been paying. I wouldn't have this huge debt hanging over my head. And they said, oh, look, it's okay. They said, you can just pay, you know, a little bit each week, and we're not bothered, but we do want the money back, but you can just pay what you can afford. And so I shrugged, you know, my characteristic Tanya shrug that I've done since I was a little girl. My whatever shrug. I said, yeah, no worries, you know, I'll do that. You can trust me that I'll pay it back over the next couple of years. And they went, okay, no worries, love. But you got to get the stuff out ASAP. And they said it just struck us as odd that we didn't have your number or details, and that you had all your stuff there, and we couldn't quite understand it. And I went, let's go down and have a look at the shed, because I can't quite understand it either. So the next part of the dream, I'm in the storage shed, and it's all painted cream, and there's 3 sheds, and I'm kind of in the middle one. And I have a look, and I went, look, there's even a kitchenette in here. I could have turned this into a little bit of a studio for my jewellery, my silversmithing. And they went, nah, you couldn't have, because like we wouldn't have gone there with you. And I went, well, you let me get away with a lot as it was anyway. And they laughed, you know. So I'm looking at all the stuff, and the person that was with me, was a staff member from this pub, says, what are you actually going to do with all the stuff? And I went, oh, look, I'm going to have to donate a lot of it to charity. I said, I don't really need it. It's just sentimental stuff from my mother, and it's shit. I said, it's not shit, but it's just stuff I don't need, and I spent years decluttering my house, and now there's more, right? So I'm freaking out about that, actually, that I'm back to square one, still decluttering. So anyway, I picked up this very German, actually it looked a bit like this thing that my mother had brought out from Germany. But it was bigger and but similar to that, with all the leather, done in leather with leather flowers, and it's beautiful. And but it was a bigger like a clock shape or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was that style, right? Done with the same handiwork. So I pick it up and I went, oh, I've got something like that at home. I don't really need another thing like that. And they're looking at me, and I said, you can have it if you want it, you know, but I've set it off my rent. I thought, fuck it, you know. Anyway, I went, no, we don't need any of this stuff. And there was some really good quality stuff. So then I'm stressing about how I was going to get it moved back to my place. And I'm lying in bed stressing, thinking, oh, I'll have to go under my house and then it'll get wrecked, and all this stress about a dream that's not even real, right? Am I right? So anyway, so the dream ends with everything resolved. I'm going to pay them back the $15,000 that I ran up by not paying rent for a year, and they were still quite happy with me, and I must have been a regular in their pub, because I go back and I said, oh, I feel like a chicken schnitzel and chips and have a meal, and so they start cooking up that, and I seem to be quite an accepted, you know, regular in this pub, which was very strange dream. And they said, oh, well, we've got your number now. I said, yeah, it's written down on the floor. I said, how long is that going to last? They said, no, we've got it actually in our phones. I went, oh, yeah, all good. And they said, yeah, we were so surprised, they said, that we know you so well that we didn't even need your number because we know we see you each week. I went, that makes sense. Someone's calling out. Oh, it's not me. So, yeah, anyway, so I wake up from this dream and I'm lying there ruminating about the dream, and I was like, there's no way that I would have put things into storage because I would have needed a key. There's no way in real life that could happen because you'd have to get the key off the hotel manager or whoever was in charge of that storage facility, and the subject would have come up then about how much rent they want per week, and there's no way I would have saddled myself with a huge debt like that. In real life, I don't like debts, and I don't like being lied to, and I don't like being set up, and I don't like being humiliated, and there's no way I would have put myself into a situation where I owed a $15,000 debt over a storage facility, and then the embarrassment of humiliation of being called out on it and then having to pay it all back. So I'm lying there going, what the fuck is wrong with my brain that I'm worrying about things that would never happen in real life because I simply wouldn't go along with it. I'd be like, yeah, but nah. And I would have found another alternative to store the stuff. So I was like, how could that have actually... The only way that could happen in real life is if someone said, yeah, you can put your stuff here and leave it there as long as you like, no charge, and then they change their mind. You know, that's the only way that could happen in real life. So it was odd. I spent a lot of time worrying about that, about 10 minutes, just slowly coming back into consciousness, worrying about being set up in this dream, because it felt like a bit of a setup, given that the dream made it clear that I'd had that stuff there for a year, and everything was copacetic and cool until they changed their mind. But anyway, it was grinding my gears. And then I had to remind myself, it's a dream, Tanya. It's not real life. It hasn't actually played out like that because it's not real. It's just nonsense. And by the way, at least you had a nice chicken schnitzel for dinner, and the people in the dream were actually very friendly and loving towards you. So they said, it's a good dream. It's a good dream in a way. So yes, in that sense, it was a good dream. But it's freaking me out because I've dreamed it about 4 or 5 times in recent, weeks, 6 weeks. It keeps repeating, and each time there's a bit more detail about, the people in the pub and the crowds. I think there's even a band playing, and it's sort of like my normal lifestyle going out Friday night, except it's a big freaking hotel style pub. Don't know where it is, don't recognise it. Anyway, hopefully it's just a nonsensical dream, but if I end up going somewhere, I won't be putting my possessions into storage there, that's for sure. Don't want to be jerked around for $15,000. So you have to laugh. My subconscious does very strange things sometimes. Anyway, 24th of April 2023, I post a photo. This became my my Hall-light pendant. I soldered the bezel down, and I was very, very excited to have successfully managed it, right? And yes, I wouldn't mind getting a little studio somewhere and having a little shop again and selling my stuff, but that's a big dream, people, a big psychedelic dream, because I don't have the money, and it would be a financial risk. So, but maybe that's why I'm dreaming about this little shed and having all my stuff stored there, because in the back of my mind it's I want to branch out and turn this into a business one day. So it's just some subterranean kind of reminders of how expensive things can run to, and that it's a risk, and yeah, Anyway, I'm not doing anything of the kind because I know it's not sustainable and I'd end up bankrupt or in the shit, and I don't want that. But yeah. Anyway, here I write 2023. I just managed to solder this piece. So although upset I failed with the square piece, I have remade another square setting. So fingers crossed I don't ruin it this time around. This oval piece flowed perfectly, meaning the solder flowed round, to attach it to the back plate. Sometimes it just feels like a fluke, laughing out loud. Square bezel number 2 is pickling as we speak, in brackets, right, exclamation mark. It's very excited. I get very excited when I succeed at my art. I get very, very excited. I also get excited when I succeed with love affairs too, but haven't had much hope of that in previous years, so I'm just trying to be like sanguine and circumspect and just watch things play out as they play out. True colours are always revealed, always, and I just have to be gentle with myself. It's very deeply vulnerable for me to fall in love with anyone and trust in that love. It's true of any human being, but more so with me because of all the life-threatening events I went through in the previous 59 fucking years. So I have to just float on my little Byron Bay tidal pool and just keep calm and stay cool and watch and wait whose true intentions and heartfelt intentions light up for me, and see how I go. 24th of April 2022. I didn't go dancing last night as I felt exhausted after making silver balls all night. It was strange, as I really wanted to go dancing, but could not motivate to go have a shower, put on makeup, get dressed, etc. It was raining and cold last night. After I decided to stay home, I watched TV, then went to bed around 11 p.m. and insanely could not settle to sleep as part of me really wanted to be out dancing, out in the world. But my body was tired, so I had to tell my wild spirit that she has to wait until next weekend, as it's not safe to flog a dead horse or a Mustang Quay, which is a wild horse woman. I can no longer push myself, as I know my body has its limits. Oh, but if I can summon the energy and the cojones, there will be dancing next week. I think I've spelt cojones wrong. I've spelled it C-O-H-O-N-E-S. But if you pronounce it cojones, then surely it should have a J, am I right? I'll have to check that later on Google, because it's rude to misspell words, even in foreign languages that you're not actually fluent in. If you're going to use a foreign word, learn how to spell it properly, Tanya Aarons. But anyway, I spelled it C-O-H, but I'm sure it's pronounced cojones. But anyway, maybe I'm right. Maybe I spelled it correctly. I'm a very good speller. In more ways than one, darlings. If I can summon the energy and the cojones, there will be dancing next week. Amen, sister. It's Sunday morning and I'm still in bed, feeling a tad lonely, but time to get up and greet the day, shower, make my life beautiful. The memories of my childhood neighbour put a dampener on my mood, but hey, I can shuck that hag off, all the hags associated with my mother the traitors, the pedophiles, the bitches, and bloody well rejoice in my life. Strange little girls bear strange but beautiful fruits. We blossom and grow even in our distortions and brokenness, always reaching for the light in spite of all the spite. It's been a strange few weeks finding out new friends were actually rabid fucking Nazis. Another grief I have had to recalibrate through my body. Yuck. Very upsetting that was. Very, very upsetting to make that discovery, especially in the context of a mediumship show. I was very, very upset. I'm still upset by it, even remembering it now. It's like, yuck. But I also have the most gorgeous, powerful, loving, and righteous spirits surrounding me. I turn like a sunflower in the sun and shine bright for only good, kind people. The rest can wallow in their own hatred, sadism, and darkness. Find your vibe, find your tribe. My time was wasted on those evil ones. Such is life. Won't be wasted on those kinds of motherfuckers ever again, though. They hid it so well too. For weeks they hid that, their true agenda. It's unbelievable. Really unbelievable. Anyway, it is what it is. Mama T has moved on since then. 24th of April, and I posted because I was quite excited about this. This is the little lump of gold that I melted all my odd spare jewellery from, and it's smaller than a 5-cent piece. I think that's it's a New Zealand threepence, but anyway, close enough. And the sterling silver lump I made too. Today I melted down the antique rose gold cufflinks and the odd 9-carat gypsy earring to make a solid 9-carat gold heart shape. I carved a heart shape in my charcoal block, but to be frank, it lost its shape as the charcoal burnt with the metal. Grr. So I have spent hours sanding it into a better heart shape, ergo lost a bit of gold as lemel. However, you don't really lose it, you just melt the lemel down, don't you? So I didn't really lose it, but it's just a bit of wastage off the actual piece. However, I'm still happy that I transmuted the cufflinks into something I can wear. You do lose a fair bit of gold when you're melting it down though. You lose about 50%, it just evaporates into the air. So that's not good. But anyway, I found that out by doing that. It doesn't matter, those pieces were odd bits and scrappy bits, and still need to buy myself another pair of big gold gypsy earrings to replace those ones. Might do it one day. One day. I guess I don't really need it. I have plenty of earrings. But it's nice to have gold gypsy earrings for when I'm in that kind of a Romany kind of mood. However, I'm still happy that I transmuted the cufflinks into something I can wear, although I still need to buy some 9-carat gold wire and make a jump ring for it, or alternatively buy a 9-carat gold jump ring and some gold solder and put a ring on it so I can wear the bloody thing. It's laid around for a long time and might actually get around to doing that. I also made a solid sterling silver heart from other scrap silver. And my hashtags were, as always, love is the law, magic happens. And then whimsically I wrote, return of my fortune, but baby steps. Well, at least I'm recycling my fortune into other forms that can be used instead of broken gold jewellery lying around. And I tell you, if I'd known that I would be doing this one day, I would never have pawned all my broken gold pieces in the past 12 years. I would have held on to it and melted it down myself if I wanted to transmute it into another form. I have the skills now. Isn't that awesome? But I don't have the gold. Oh, smallest violin. But baby steps. Baby steps, baby girl. 24th of April 2021. Lots of penny drops this morning. Lots of encouragement from the spirit world. They reminded me how I was on direct orders to walk into that second-hand shop, and I very rarely obey direct orders from human or non-human entities. I don't like being ordered to do anything. Ask me politely and courteously, and I'm more than happy to oblige, but start throwing direct orders at me with pressure and malevolent kind of attitude, or yelling and screaming at me, and I just go, fuck off. I had an entire fucking childhood like that, so it's one of my triggers, and it's one of the reasons why I even have a Deify t-shirt, because I'm defiant. Thank God I am too. It saved my life many, many times, including in the last 4 years. But anyway, they reminded me how I was on direct orders to walk into that second-hand shop, and how a pair of 9-carat cufflinks were practically forced on me to buy. The lady in the shop was adamant that I buy them, because they were cheap. $65, second-hand. They were worth at least double that, even as scrap gold. So they were a good buy, and she was right to pressurise me a bit. That was on the 23rd of January in 2021. At the time, I was greatly bemused. They were very cheap, so I bought them. Even though I had no use for cufflinks, I decided I could turn them into earrings, or in dark moments of deep poverty, sold them again as scrap gold. Then it hit me this morning. The gods gifted me those cufflinks, as I now realize I can learn casting and turn all my broken or odd pieces of gold and or silver into a charm or something. Sweet. Pity poverty divested me of so much gold in the past 12 years, but those cufflinks being forced on me were a sign. I'm about to find my niche, and the wealth that was raped from me by my filthy family is going to flow back to me exponentially to the power of 10. Well, Mama T can dream. Psychedelics dream. Psychedelic dreamers dream. It's what we do best. Dreaming. Be nice to manifest it for once though, in 3D reality, into my bank account, in the eternal now. Bing bam boom. Right now would be good. But anyway, it could happen. It could happen. Miracles happen every day. So I am already a living, breathing, walking miracle. My survival alone is miraculous. So I don't lose trust in the gods. I know they have my back one way or the other. Sometimes it's quite astonishing and humbling and even a bit terrifying at times. Here I continue. I don't dare assume it's material wealth, although that would be most welcome in my life. But much of it is spiritual gold that cannot be stolen, raped, traded, or sold. I can gift it freely, and the more I gift it, the more it enriches my soul, like the proverbial eternally replenishing cornucopia. It's a pity my CPTSD makes striving to achieve wealth or success so fucking agonizing. Just learning how to make something out of a fork was an agony. But I will get better as I progress. I will take delight in my creations, and I will reap great joy and satisfaction from them. Smiley face. And I've showed it to you before, but I feel inspired to show it to you again. That was my first little fork made out of an electroplated nickel silver fork. And I made this out of sterling silver scrap that I had, Triskel. And I lost this earring dancing the other week at Brooklyn Standard. And because it's costume jewellery, I didn't worry about it, it's not of any real intrinsic value. So the odd earring I've hung up on my magical staff. This is my voodoo chicken claw to deter thieves. And this is a, it's got a big crack in half. I'm going to have to get CA glue and fix it. But this was a beautiful quartz crystal pendant that belonged to my mother, but got cracked, and I just hang it. Here's my beautiful voodoo earring that I lost the other day at Byron Bay, which I'm still fairly fucking pissed off about, because I spent a week or a few days making the sterling silver Sacred Heart, and now lost. What else have I got on here? I've got some greenstone and mother of pearl, and these were my original decorations. So, and my quartz wands, and there should be two on there actually. Oh yeah, there's the other one. So it's a beautiful piece, but it's bloody heavy to walk with, that magical staff, because it's very tall, and I only use it once in a blue moon, usually at Halloween. I go for a little walk around the neighbourhood with it, and just for the sheer mischief really, not for any real magical purposes. But it is a bona fide magical staff that I have charged and blessed, and actually, did all the work sanding it back myself. So yes, I am a real witch and a Jew and a shaman. So I'm not just I'm not delusional, and I'm not fantasizing. I'm an ancestral witch from my grandfather, my mother's biological father in Germany, who was actually Polish born. And I'm not sure if he was actually Polish born, because he was born in, I can't remember exactly where he was born now. I'm not sure if it was under German control at the time of his birth, or if it was under Polish control, because Poland kept getting invaded by Russia and or Germany over the last, 200 years. So it's all very fucking complicated. But I'm pretty sure he was Polish, so there is that. Anyway, where was I? Just learning to make something out of a fork was an agony, but I will get better as I progress. I will take delight in my creations and will reap great joy and satisfaction from them. Smiley face. And as you can see, I'm very satisfied and joyful about my little achievements. They don't make me any money and I'm not exactly prosperous, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm contented in my own weird little world. Update 2022. Interestingly, just after I woke up this morning, I had an inspiration telling me to melt down those rose gold cufflinks and make hearts from them. I might give it a go later. My silver balls did not turn out great, so I'm a bit afraid of ruining gold. But if I can transmute them into hearts, then I could possibly drill holes through them and wear them as earrings, as I don't wear cufflinks, laughing my ass off. And no, drilling holes is not the plan. I need to solder on a jump ring and another jump ring and do it professionally. But anyway, I only got one heart out of all that gold because 50% of it went into the ether. Shit. But never mind. Then this memory came up, so I guess the gods think it's time I practiced with the small amount of scrap gold I have. I have been watching Russian Dolls on Netflix, where Nadia wears the last remaining Krugerrand left after a conman stole her family's stash of Krugerrands. With some bemusement, the same thing happened to us. Buck the schmuck also stole my mother's Krugerrand, gifted to her by her half-brother in Germany. The Krugerrand was a tad symbolic, as it has a gazelle on the front of it, and Gisela means gazelle. Just kind of ironic, because gazelles are gentle, timid creatures, and my mother was as ruthless as a salivating fucking hyena or a lioness. But then lioness are loving and protective of their young, so hyena she was. Mum told me her brother, I've written Hans Peter and that's incorrect, it should be Hans Petula. Hans Peter was her first husband. I'll have to go back and fix that after. Mum told me her brother Hans Petula had a stack of them and flicked one at her off the top of the stack like it was nothing. Said, here, have that. So she fought him about it and threw it back at him, as how dare he insult her when she was not poor. I told her it was just typical schoolboy behaviour, showing off, and he probably thought it was a sign of affection. And who the hell rejects a $15,000 Krugerrand like some dickhead? But she said she eventually accepted it after telling him off for insulting her, which, you know, we're very proud in our family. We're very proud people. People continuously try to humiliate me. I don't know why that's still in place, but, you know, I observed it the other night actually, and I thought, not wise, won't go good for you. Just saying. And it's not really so much about my ego or being a proud person, although I have become a proud person with age. It's about the decades of absolute fucking horrific, sadistic abuse I encountered. So experienced in my childhood and my marriage, you know, at work and my business with my fucking husband, you know, at university, every aspect of my life. So I have, after 25 years of therapy and surviving several strangulations and several rapes, I am I've reached the point now where you humiliate me, mate, You're going to fucking die. Maybe not literally, but I'm done. I'll just detach and you will leave my energy forever. The equivalent of dying. I will treat you as though you have died. All love will immediately die. So I'm just making this statement because if someone wants to be in relationship with me, they need to know that's a line you don't cross with me. You don't fucking go out of your way to humiliate me or destroy me, especially when I haven't done anything wrong. But, dance and love and generally be kind to people, except for the man that put his hands on me a few weekends ago. So I whacked him with my fan, but he had no right to put his hands on me. Didn't know him from Adam. So, But apart from that, I haven't done anything to deserve that kind of behaviour. So I won't tolerate it, I let it wash over me because I thought, well, maybe I'm a bit raw at the moment because I'm not well, and I generally give people three strikes. There's a 3-strike rule. You do the dirty on me once, I'll give you the eye, and you're like, Do it twice, I start getting a bit het up, but 3 times, you're done. I'm done with you. And I have to live that way. I have to. I don't have a choice in it because if you let people consistently walk all over you and shit down your neck and be abusive, you're going to end up fucking dead in more ways than one, babies. Because those kind of people are sick and evil and get off on it. They take pleasure in destroying other people, and the more you go along with it, the more damage you're actually sustaining, and the weakening of your own spirit and ego makes you even more vulnerable to other attacks from other people, and eventually you lose your life force, you lose your soul, you lose everything. So it's why in my videos I often end them with never ever let the bastards grind you down, which was taught to me by 2 doctor friends in my Jewish community here in my temple. So it's true. You might turn a blind eye once if it's a trivial sort of thing, but if it happens again and again, walk away. Hold your head up high and walk away. Anyway, here I write, someday I'll buy myself another one, just for kicks, as it will represent me gaining back my power and wealth from that awful, evil, perverted family. I mean, no one actually needs gold bullion hanging around their necks, unless there is a war, darlings, winky face. Oh wait, shit. Am I right? But anyway, that gold coin was stolen from my mother by that buck, and he probably sold it for his, gambling on the GGs or whatever. But I can't prove it, but he made up some cockamamie story that it was stolen when she went to have an x-ray at the hospital, and I know that's horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. But anyway, can't prove it. It's gone. But one day I will have my gold coins again. I actually had a gold coin my father bought me when I was 13 years old, and it was a sovereign from, Queen Victoria days, I think. Or did it have Edward II on it? But anyway, it was a beautiful gold sovereign. It had a beautiful decorative bezel and beautiful gold chain. And I loved it. And it was a high status present to give to a 13-year-old girl, by the way. My parents were opulent beyond belief. But gold is gold, am I right? And I loved it, but I only got to wear it a very short time, and then there was a massive jewellery robbery at our house, and the thieves took everything, including my gold coin and even my child's coin collection, which wasn't worth squat, but you know, I guess they didn't know what it was worth, and took everything. So my mother was heartbroken, and we had to start from scratch acquiring things. But I never got a gold sovereign again, and certainly didn't get a Krugerrand. That was a gift from my uncle to my mother. So if I ever win lotto, or my jewellery starts selling and I get successful again, or my stories start, you know, being paid for, which hasn't happened in 3 years, so what the fuck. But anyway, if it ever happens for me, I'll buy myself a Krugerrand, just as a kind of a nod and a wink too. I will reclaim my wealth one day, and no bastard will strip me again like has been done in the past. Ever. So, and my spiritual gold that I have grown back from years of abuse and trauma and near-death experiences, and even that event being stolen from as a child, and wasn't all that was stolen from me in my childhood, but never mind. My spiritual gold is extremely, extremely powerful and of very high caliber and value. But of course, not very many people recognize it. You have to be very similar to me, understand about energy and spirituality to recognize my power. To the uninitiated, I'm just this little old lady with long blonde hair and purple lips telling stories, am I right? Dancing my wild dance on the weekend, looking ever so, you know, weak and vulnerable and harmless. It's delightful. It's the way of a shaman, though. We're always seriously, seriously underestimated, as people deem us weird and broken and unloved and crazy and unlovable. But our true spirit always, always shines through, babies. And I'm looking forward to a fully innovated love partnership that's for me and joyous and sweet and honouring and respectful and sincere. I'm really looking forward to it. And maybe, as usual, I'm dreaming and it's all an illusion, and maybe not. One can never tell. Here I posted a meme. I thought that was quite beautiful, the artistry in that. Kind of looks a bit like my iris, except I don't have such beautiful patterns. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's true. How friends convince me to go places. Oh, I love this. This is so me too. There'll be food and drink and ghosts. Especially if there's a cat or a dog at the party, I usually end up hanging out with them rather than the people most of the time. But if there's ghosts, I'll probably be having little chats to them too. Then I posted another meme by W.B. Yeats. The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. And that is so true. Finally undressing the porcelain dolls as they have not sold. Socks is unimpressed as he loves them so. Here's a photo of Socks. He's so beautiful. Oh, wait a minute. 2 photos of Socks. Can I get it so that they're both on the screen? No. Oh yeah, almost. Here we go. He took to lying amongst the dolls and some children's book I had on the bed as well. And he was like a dragon with his hoard. He was loving it. And then, so I put a comment, my fucking dollies, fuck off, Mama T. Because I went to move them and he turned and he glared at me as if, don't take my dollies away from me. And they wouldn't have been uncomfortable, it wouldn't have been comfortable to lie on because they were porcelain and they had, some had soft bodies but some had hard bodies, and I don't understand what was going on with his head, but anyway, he was snuggling up to the dollies, feeling like he had his own little treasures in his pussycat mind. It was actually quite delightful. 24th of April 2020. I just had cheesecake for breakfast, 'cause I can. I gobbled it down while Facebooking, editing my writings, sipping tea and quietly observing the noisy workmen with their noisy trucks and machinery. Charlie is happy to be outside. I am happy to be alive. The dog is happy too. Life is good. I have a debrief with my psychiatrist at 3 p.m, then ecstatic dance at 6:30 p.m. That's unusual. It must have been a Friday. I normally see him on Wednesday fortnightly. Oh well, anyway, he must have shifted the days around. My new COVID-19 routine, zest for life, even in isolation. Hair washed but not brushed yet. Lol. Back in bed, I got seized by a sudden feeling of weakness, low blood pressure and stomach pain. Not the cheesecake, although it probably wasn't such a good idea. I am constantly fatigued, but I might as well rest, stop trying to prove something to myself. Oh dear goddess. Yesterday, I tripped over a long power cord that I was using to charge my iPhone in the garden while listening to My Alien Life, which was a very good podcast I was listening to on Spotify. I badly grazed my big right toe on the concrete path, so I hope I'm not developing another bout of septic arthritis, as I feel quite weak. Toe is red but not hot. I will keep an eye on it. I don't want to ever end up in any hospital again. They quite literally kill me. Systemic abuse. Enough already. Yeah, really, it's quite enough. Quite enough. Anyway, here's a photo. I love this. Beauregard on the bed with me, with Penny beside me, and I'm reading Franz Kafka. Anyway, Mama T, all her crazy, quirky ways. Sighs, I hate to admit this, it was the cheesecake, lactose intolerance. Oh well. Lots of noise across the road, they are unloading concrete. Grr, this too shall pass. Oh, they drove me mad. They worked on that house for 13 years non-stop, just constantly grinding and concreting and lifting the house up and painting, and even the other neighbour was constantly doing stuff to his house. Finally, they've all stopped. I get a little bit of peace, but it took years. It took long years. I still kind of want to kill them in a way. It's how annoying it was. But oh well, their house is complete now, and there's peace in the neighbourhood, and Mama T gets to enjoy the peace and the sanguinity. But anyway, this morning I wrote about the lack of love and even more distressing lack of respect I have experienced many times in my life. Then I was struck down with a weird illness, post-traumatic stress syndrome, or demonic or angelic smiting. No accidents in the universe. No, Tanya, it was just the bloody cheesecake that you were in denial about. Then just now, I was gifted James Vukalich's offering of the Ojibwa word of the day. He's a wonderful man who is an Ojibwa man who on Facebook regularly was posting a word, Ojibwa word, and then explaining its meaning, and it was beautiful, and I enjoyed all his videos. And I have an affinity to the Ojibwa because I had a friend years ago in Paltalk who was an Ojibwa Maduan who sent me the most powerful, potent energy, hoping to open me up so that I could attract the one, and that the one would be attracted to me, and we would have this beautiful, loving partnership. Well, that was in 2013, and I attracted someone, but it was a false light and a false love, and it set me back 10 years. So, but that's not my Maduan Ojibwa man's fault. It's my energy, I guess, or fate, or whatever. So it's one of the reasons why I'm treading very fucking cautiously this time. I don't want to get ever tortured like that ever again. It was awful, and I actually almost didn't survive it. So, and things happen for a reason. It's grown me back to this point in my life where I'm willing and able and open-hearted to, again, after many years, to invite and include and embrace a truly loving partner. But I'm also circumspect and sanguine and quite frankly a little bit afraid, you know. It's a huge risk to me, not a financial risk, since I have nothing, and you know, you'll have nothing and be happy. I'm the prime example of what happens when you let WEFers run your life. They destroyed me long ago in the court system when I left my marriage, by the way. 29 years ago, they fucking ruined me, which is another reason why I never wanted to marry again. It's not the marriage I fear, it's the fucking divorce and the being stripped to bare bone of everything. And since I already have nothing, well, it's the emotional fallout and the destruction that comes with that I dread too. You know, the strangulations and the attacks on my body, mind and spirit. So that's why it's taken me so very long, almost 3 decades, to even be willing to love again and trust in someone again. And It's why I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof too. When I see things that show that someone has a potential to be a bit sadistic, I'm like, hell no, I can't go down that pathway again. Sad but true. But anyway, I segued from that, but this James Vukovic is a beautiful man and gives the most beautiful offerings of his language on Facebook, and he's just so peaceful and spiritual. His beautiful wife and son, and it's soul nourishing. It's soul nourishing to see him and his love for his culture and his language. Reminding us that our earth is harmonizing in this time of COVID and trauma. A beautiful, timely and healing reminder. Thank you, James. I mean, I don't know him in person, but thank you, James, anyway. Thank you to the spirits and or ancestors that love us. We are indeed of the earth, manufactured by her and ultimately destined to be claimed by her. I pray she gifts me a gentle passing into the next dimension, but it is not for me to cut deals with the Holy One or Odin, the All-Father. But I am grateful for the post-traumatic growth and exponential healing that meant I had a few good days recently. I can see that my life still has beautiful potentialities, even if my body won't permit them. Such is life. And here I am 4 years later, still struggling with my health, but joyous, triumphant, defiant, in love, loving, bit sensitive, opened up and blossoming again because of the kindness and sweetness that's been shown me in the past few years, really, but the last 8 months have been astonishing. And I have hope for some kind of future for me, even though I'm still struggling with my health. The dance, almost the dance macabre, actually. But the dance continues, and the wildness and the expression of my soul continues, and I'm grateful for all of that. I truly am. And I'm grateful for the sweet romantic overtures, even though they can't go any further than, just illusory, nonsensical flashes of inspiration in the club scene. It's all very sweet and delightful and inspiring and heartfelt. And one day, the man who truly deeply loves me will choose me and claim me as his own. I don't know how he's going to do that, since I live in poverty and on a disability pension, and my health's not all that great. I'm not exactly a good catch, but true love looks beyond all those aspects, I guess, and sees into my true heart, mind, body and soul, and values me anyway. Now that, my friends, is a romantic notion that is really quite ridiculous and absurdist. But anyway, Mama T keeps trying no matter what. What else have I got to do with my time than manifest the deepest, most powerful, magical love of all? Here's one we prepared earlier. He's now in Valhalla. He's impatient to see his psychiatrist. He really was. He was sitting up, looking down the hall, walking down the hall like this, all excited to see my doctor. My doctor says he feels sad for me. This is back in 2019 when I was still in love with that fucking dreadlocked nitwit. He feels sad for me that Dave is so approach avoidant. He knew he would show up as I had been intuiting his approach for a month, because I'm very fucking psychic, and when I form psychic bonds with lovers, it's intense. I actually tried very hard to not get that kind of psychic enmeshment, especially with someone that's toxic and evil like Dave was, you know. But he thinks most of my poverty and mental health issues would simply go away if I found a stable, safe, loving partner, if I was happy in a relationship. But the danger would be that I sabotaged out of feelings of not deserving love, or out of fear that it would all go horribly wrong again, with the long pattern of abuse, cheating, abandonment, betrayals. My heart just aches to think about it. It really does, because that's actually true. It is a serious fear, and I try not to buy into the fear, because energy goes where energy flows, and if you feed into the negativity, you almost manifest yet another monstrous outcome, and I don't want that. I want a truly loving partner who has my back and my front and my sides and is proud and happy to be my man, because he sees something in me that sparks joy in his heart and soul, and he chooses to be with me. And yes, it's a big ask, a huge, huge ask. So my fears overwhelm me at times, and I almost drown in them, and I have to say, no, Tanya, no. You too are worthy of a truly great, loving man who chooses to be your partner. I am worthy and I am deserving of love. I just have to overcome that fear and that struggle with trusting ever again, which is not an unreasonable struggle given my life histories, plural, with bastards. I agreed that it is very likely that I would sabotage, as I don't know what real love feels like, so I would not trust in it, meaning the other person. I know one thing though, Dave in his weird way does feel some kind of love for me, or he would not still be coming to look at me after 5 years and 2 months. Well, Dave is Machiavellian, so he got off on, leering at me with his creepy fucking friends and cousin and other lovers. He actually got off on that. So it was sick, actually, what he used to do, and I mistook it that he actually had a deep connection to me. But no, I had to grow up and over that and realise it was just a sick, perverted little game on his part. So I continue writing here. So I don't know what to do, but keep striving to avoid making any contact, which I was the one that always made contact, because my love for him did run deep, and it was a folly, and I've been punished and suffered enough for it for several fucking lifetimes, I think, including the other broken love affairs that were sadistic and cruel and life-threatening. So I say here, and see what Dave does. If he really wants me, then it's up to him to let me know now. Well, that was back in 2019. And did he go out of his way to show me, to humiliate me on the streets of Brisbane outside the casino with my former woman friend? Did they go out in their way, over and beyond the call of duty, to be cruel? And it took that much for me to snap out of my love for him, but was it really that necessary? Was it really that necessary to be so vicious? I don't think so. But anyway, it's okay. I have beautiful men friends in my life now that look to me with admiration and even awe and respect, and have spoken to me with kindness and treated me decently. And one day, I may find a true, ardent, devoted, noble, honouring, romantic, passionate lover. It could happen. I mean, it didn't happen for 10 years because I was locked in this death spiraling, spiritual kind of entrapment with that nitwit. But, it took me the last 4 years to get over it, actually. And, last year was a difficult year losing Beauregard, but I was shown so much love and affection from friends in the scene. So the potential for me to be in a loving relationship is already here. It's manifesting. I just don't know for sure who it is because none of those men are available. They're all married, and so in that sense, it's another kind of hell loop because they're not available, even though they are sweet to me. One in particular is very sweet to me indeed. 24th of April 2017. I've been watching Charlie fearlessly stalk Beauregard on the table, tantalising him into attack, even though the dog is drooling. I had to separate them both for my own mental health. Charlie was fairly new in our family. I got given her in March, and we thought she was male in those days. And she used to tease the dog mercilessly. I was terrified he was going to just snap her in half. The two creatures fascinated with each other, longing to annihilate the existence of the other. This bloody drug I'm on for my bladder, it's the side effects are causes dry mouth. And man, my mouth just goes all dry and my throat closes up. It's really knocking me for a six. But anyway, what can you do? Survival on this planet to thrival. And the dance will continue, and the love I grow in my heart will continuously, exponentially bloom like a lotus flower, right out of the previous muck and mire of my previous existence. And it's powerful, and it's beautiful, and it's authentic. So I hope it's received by someone who treats it like the jewel, the lotus it is, with kindness and respect. I really do hope that I'm not falling for another sadistic game player or monster. I really do hope that. And it's a huge fucking risk, actually. So I'm well aware of the risks involved. It made me think of how many times, millions perhaps, that I too tried, even just by my presence, to gain mastery over my psychopathic attackers, slanderers, attempted rapists, and so on, ad nauseum. Yesterday's service was positively crawling with them. One stared at me maliciously, so I stared right back. The malevolent cur contributed to the final destruction of my relationship with my youngest daughter. He had the utter chutzpah to eyeball me with contempt. Sick, evil pervert. I could name him, but I won't. I won't even give him the satisfaction. But he's a low-level fucking cur. A ganze macher in our community. It's unbelievable how rotten and evil they are, and yet they put themselves in positions of power over other people, am I right? Of course they do. Classic narcissism, psychopathic behaviours. But I hold my own, as unbeknownst to him, I have lovely friends in my community too. People who are worth 1,000 of him. His little henchwoman, aka his wife, also glared at me balefully. Honestly, I am so used to the abusers and shunning in that community that it is mostly like water off a duck's back. I have done nothing wrong but honour my ancestors on a day that commemorated the complete annihilation of 6 million Jews and 7 million other Romani, gays, political dissenters, Jehovah's Witnesses and pacifists, and communists, I should add to that too. All went into the gas chambers, or were shot on the edges of mass graves, and the earth writhed with those still barely alive, trying to get out of the graves. It was fucking horrific. 13 million died at the hands of the Nazis. 13 million civilian deaths. I remember them, not just because of the Nazis that spawned such hatred, but because I am a survivor of survivors of that heinous epoch in history. One of the very regime that murdered, tortured, starved and raped its way to obliteration. Another, a concentration camp surviving child molester who begrudged me my cup of tea and my existence under his roof because I would not let him rape me at 15 years of age, nor at 9 years of age, already battle-weary from escaping and or fending off other pedophiles. Cognitive dissonance people. I helped that man die and let him lie to his hospital mates that he was my father. He was no father to me, nor was my own biological father. I tell you who came close to being a father. My 3 rabbis who defended me against such putrid ugliness that I should have killed myself, but I will never let my abusers have my head on their wall as a fucking trophy. Yesterday, unspoken, one stood beside me and davened. Coincidence? Perhaps, but I was grateful for the support, for the presence of a community leader unashamed to stand near me, the Tanya, the pariah. And I send much love to you, Rabbi, for that act of human kindness towards me, because he knows it takes great courage for me to attend communal functions where I'm mocked and derided and sneered at and leered at by my enemies For what? For holding my ground even as a younger woman when I was falsely accused of being a Nazi, by the way. My crime? Speaking my truth and standing in it, a dripping, blood-stained cloak of reckoning. Writhing in my own metaphorical gravel pit of horror. Am I right? I've been doing it for decades. It's why my lips are blue and I'm pale and I'm wrung out and I'm tired. I'm tired of the evil and the cruelties presented to me on a daily basis. I'm tired of the breakdown of our Western civilization. I'm tired of the endemic pedophilia. I'm tired of men playing me false and or being cruel, especially in my most vulnerable aspect of all, when I'm just wanting a loving partner of my own, or at least at the barest minimum, to just be loved, even if it's platonic and agape and cannot be consummated. I've got every right to be loved like any other human being on this planet. And the love is shown to me in that gesture alone, that protective, sweet gesture, that I am loved. But, of course, when it comes to wanting to bring in a sexual partner to share, my sexuality with, it gets sabotaged very often, or I become overwhelmed and fearful that it's not sustainable, and I go on my walk alone as per usual. It's not what I'm wanting for my future. I'm wanting a loving partner at long last, and it's probably my worst insanity, actually, wanting that. As I said in a video the other day, I was better off when I was just like, yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Great Spirit brought a sweet child to remind me that my life has meaning. My life was to survive my own childhood and my own adulthood, and my actions were always to keep our children safe. So the paedophile ring enablers dare to glare at me, to hope I will cower and fall away like a dust mite on a sunny day, irrelevant and uncounted, until we survivors of abuse gather together and cover that Shulchan Aruch and demand a purification, a sanctification. I see you, I hear you, I know whom you stand before. Shun me, vilify me, nothing new under the Tanya's sun. I might feel traumatized and or depressed, but I always have myself and God. To decent men and women everywhere, to warriors of righteousness and courage, I salute you. To mine enemies, the pedophiles and their enablers, the liars, traitors, deceivers, I curse you. The sword of Damocles swings both ways, babies. The clock is ticking as it melts into eternity. God, if He'll she or it truly exists, has me firmly in his hands. He lifts me up on his shoulders. I'm using that pronoun, loosely, because God has no gender. I don't believe that God has a gender. But anyway, for the sake of poetic license, he lifts me up on his shoulders and throws me back into the fray. Like a furious little bird, I fly into the Sturm und Drang of my own fury. You shall not die, but live, beloved one. I begged for it to end, but no end in sight. I cast the last of my biological demons down on the sands of King Island, which ironically in the last century, late 1900s, used to be called Phillips Island. So my father did indeed go home to the ancestral name, if nothing else. But 1,000 monsters stir and rise up against me. I am not afraid. Maybe next time you will find a way to kill me, unlike the bully, coward, bastard Israeli lovers. One dead now, one should be dead. But here I am, alive, aware. Arise and shine. Blessed be the wild ones, the free spirits, the fierce, brave, psychedelic dreamers, the children of the universe. Amen v'salah. I am so grateful to you, O Holy One, for bringing me back into my own being, for breathing life, light, and love back into my desiccated, desecrated soul, and for the redemption from mine enemies. I pray for a peaceful, prosperous, loving life. So mote it be. And I wrote that back in, what year was it? I've forgotten. Mama T. 2017. And here we are, 7 years later. It's starting to manifest now. I'm seeing my community gathering around me at the Brooklyn Standard, people being loving towards me and kind and soul nourishing and oh, excuse me, and tolerant of my weird shamanic ways, and I'm grateful and I'm really enjoying the love that's being poured and flowing into me, and long may it continue, my darlings. It's been a long time coming. I spent a long time splonging in the shadowlands of other people's falsity and paucity and malevolence, and who knows what the future holds for me. But as that beautiful man, that house inspector came, said, your house feels so happy and positive, I feel uplifted. So that is my work, to continue to be positive and happy and uplift myself and others in these dark, turgid times, and keep the faith that my truly loving partner is in my life now and will eventually claim me as his own partner, lover, friend, companion, business associate. However it manifests, or what that particular man wants with me, I don't know at this point in time. It's early days yet, and I don't know what is even real yet. So I'm just remaining positive, delighting in the kindness that's been shown to me in recent months, including that most unusual encounter with that Māori housing inspector man. That was just so sweet and kind. This is how life should always be: sweetness and kindness and deep respect for each other, not the way I was treated, especially through the last 4 COVID years. And prior to that even, it was abhorrent, really abhorrent. So one good, kind, sweet man or woman or child can make a huge difference to someone's life, especially someone like me who's gone through the most immense suffering. Charlie is enjoying being a bird on my tomato plant, which he has partially destroyed, but he is making happy chortling baby bird noises of happiness. And it's not a very good photo, but there she is in my hydroponics pond I used to have before one of the housing inspectors maliciously made me get rid of it. And there she is playing amongst the tomatoes. April 2016. Something big is about to happen. Seeing 11s all day, really intensely. I saw 11:11 this morning, and yesterday I saw 1:11. So the angels are preparing me for something. I hope it's something lovely and a wonderful surprise. Let's be positive, people. Ooh. I've been seeing them for years now, but when they synchronistically group together for several days, I sit up and take notice. I hope like hell it is nothing unpleasant, like last time I was forced by fate into stepping up as a survivor to support another survivor, only to be set up and threatened for 4 months with a defamation case. This is how evil and perverted and malfeasant they are in my former community. It's just sick and evil, but it is what it is. I have also had intense anxiety for the past few days, hopefully just lunacy from the powerful full moon energies. But what if it is another powerful, intense shift in my life? I pray that this time it will be a positive, happy one. Frankly, I can't cope with any more traumatic events or awfulness. Not that I am a fragile, delicate flower, but just that I am sick of being sick. The universe blessed me the past few days with wonderful gifts from Sally, Margaret, and Jared, and Lynn. So I will hope the signs from the universe are going to be super. Joanne Ryan wrote, I've seen 11:11 a lot too lately. Julie Goddard wrote, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts are manifesting instantly into form. Focus only upon your desires, not upon your fears. Very good advice. I am truly, greatly, romantically, passionately, authentically, sincerely, devotedly loved by a truly loving life partner who chooses me of his own free will, from his own body, mind, spirit and soul, wanting a long-term partnership with me preferably solid, authentic, loving, joyous for the rest of our lives together. That's my prayer, people, and my spell, and my affirmation. I must not let fear or doubts overwhelm me. And it's a struggle because I know what my life has been like. Kellyanne wrote, "Tell the 11s they aren't welcome and to please kindly fuck off if they intend to bring negativity with them, lol." And I replied, "Not necessarily negative, but certainly a signal to keep focus and pay attention to events in the next few days. I stayed home tonight. Last night was fun, but I am exhausted. I am slowing down a lot, but I always overdo the dancing to Mission X." They were a wonderful band, wonderful musicians, and Abby Sky used to be their singer. My friend Tarina wrote, "Repetitive ones means your angels are with you and new beginnings." And then she shared a link, angel numbers, Joanne Sacred Scribes. Sacred Scribes, angel numbers, one word, blogspot.com if you want to check those out. And she also commented, "Definitely something positive." I just went to Domino's and bought and devoured an entire pizza. Man, I feel good. I didn't realize I was so hungry. I spoke to Crystal this morning at 5:30 a.m. She is doing well. I slept until 2 p.m. Now lying in my hammock in the breeze. A nice day, but about to be splattered on by a sun shower, laughing out loud. See below, view of my staghorns, which are doing brilliantly after 13 years of living here on the 5th of May. It's almost 21 years. It's the longest I've ever lived in a home and had stability in one place, which, apart from, the 25 years of therapy, also accounts for my mental health improving, because when you're stable in your home and you're relatively safe and you're not under constant threat and you're not having to move house 8 times like I did with my young children, you get to heal from a lot of your traumas and stuff, and it's why I am as good as I am today mentally, having had a lovely home and garden to sit in and true heartfelt friends and few true heartfelt family members, my cousins in New Zealand and my cousin in Cairns, and my pets. Of course, Charlie's the last of the pets now, but all of those factors helped create this version of the Tanya, this version of the becoming of the Tanya. 24th of April 2015, heading out to the casino. I look $1 million but have no money. The universe loves me anyway. Happy Oneg Shabbat. Oneg means rejoicing on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath. I have some stomping and whirling to do. Manifest, manifest, manifest. I feel a little depressed. Time to shower off the dreck and scrub up beautiful and dance out my pain. Enough already. Time to fly. So I would have written that earlier in the evening when I was probably trying to decide whether to go out or not. And this must have been an answer to a meme that is no longer there, but I wrote, "Been there, done that. but my blood is still worth bottling, as my father used to say, sardonically. Well, fuck what he ever thought of me anyway, the fucking monster. Nothing he ever thought of me holds any weight. Shabbat Shalom, y'all, means it had gone dark Friday sunset. The Shabbat. The Shabbat I don't celebrate in traditional Jewish ways. I spoke to biosecurity. They won't let me take custody of Ramon and Suki unless I take over the clown business and can prove I'm doing shows, etc. The cost is $1,000 for the permit, so I am screwed. Crystal will either give them to a clown friend who will apply for the permit and take over the business, or relinquish my grandkids to Grantham Rabbit Sanctuary, where she got them. It was actually really heartbreaking what they put us through. Biosecurity prefers she takes them to Grantham to be rehomed in New South Wales, as if a Queenslander takes them they might end up not keeping the permit up to date, in which case the bunnies will be euthanised. It's all very insane. 2 pet, desexed bunnies should be allowed to be transferred to a family member, i.e. me, as long as I keep the permit paid. It's not like I am anywhere near any farms in the middle of the city. I wouldn't let them loose either, as they are beloved pets. This government is so fucked up. Seriously insane. Yes, it is. Seriously. Trying to decide if I'm going out tonight. No money, but that has never stopped me. I will see how I feel mood-wise later tonight. I have been a bit tetchy. I have slept all week, so I will have the physical stamina. Hopefully, I feel okay later. And so you can see how I bank my energy for the dance on the weekend and worry about it, whether I'll have the strength, right? It's a constant struggle. Young Harrison's walking home from school, and I almost for a moment didn't recognise him. He's gotten so tall. Sweet boy. of April 2015. Here's some photos of the bunnies and Miss Penny, who was also in Valhalla and greatly missed. Actually, it's only 1:04 p.m. He's come home from school early, hasn't he? Maybe he's sick. It's a public holiday tomorrow, so maybe they sent the kids home early, but I don't see any other children going home. Anyway, I hope he's okay. 3:10 p.m. Awake at last. Penny is snuggling close to me, with Mushu guarding my right side. There is much contented purring. Feeling loved and happy. Time to get up. 2:29 a.m. Time to schluff. Lila Tov. 24th of April 2014. I shared a meme. Throw me to the wolves and I will return, leading the pack. And I wrote, I am a wolf woman. I enjoy a good howling at every full moon. I was also raised by wild, mad, narcissist sociopaths. Trust me, I speak wolf and manage madness rather well. I had to survive. And like real wolves, I'm deeply loyal, but it doesn't behoove one to try to destroy me, just saying, because like a wild wolf, once you betray me, that's the end of the friendship and or love affair or whatever other association we have. I can be wild and wolvish when I'm crossed, because there's no need for that behaviour when I haven't done anything wrong but love. Simples. But anyway, I don't go out into vendettas or anything like that. I'm too old and too tired. I just walk away with my head high and grieve for a while and pick myself up and carry on. Don't have time to waste investing in idiots. I really don't. It's one thing I've learnt over the last 4 years. Don't grieve too long over fucking idiots. It's a waste of good positive energy that could be used to create jewellery or write or form another more solid love partnership with someone genuine next time. So that's my philosophy on that. 24th of April 2011. Muriel Hodemakers, who was my neighbour down the road in Island Bay when I grew up. She had 5 children and I played a lot with her children, 4 sons and a younger daughter. We all grew up almost like family because we were in and out of each other's homes, and Muriel's and Theo's home and Lynn Robertson's home, her parents' home, and there was another little boy I used to visit next door to Muriel, their home, and we all ran wild on that beach, us kids, and we all had a kind of a kinship in a way, like we actually almost were like family. As close to family as you're going to get from people living in separate houses with separate family dynamics. Anyway, Muriel Hodemakers, referring to Susie van der Kwast, both dead now. She wrote, "Haven't spoken to the old bag for 15 years. As I'm in the book, the author sent me a copy. Happy Easter." I replied, "Happy Easter, Muriel. Well, the old bag still visits my dreams quite frequently, although I remember her with some fondness, as she used to like to drag me out of bed on a Saturday or Sunday when some ass didn't show up for work. She would send Tom to pick me up in his BMW, and then she'd yell at me for not wearing makeup. They would literally drag me out of my bed and then complain that I wasn't ready for work. Like, what the fuck? I was too tired to be bothered to slap on the war paint, and at 15 or 16 years of age, I don't think I really needed that crap anyway, lol. So I had constant struggle with chronic fatigue even as a young teenager and child, and that will be because of the child sexual abuse and the other abuses causing, CPTSD+++, which in my case manifested as extreme fatigue. So I've lived with this chronic fatigue all my fucking life. So it's no surprise that every now and then I arc up, and as I said to my psychiatrist on last Wednesday in our debrief, I feel fucking tortured. It's been a lifetime of struggle. Physical, emotional, mental, financial, and at times when I did have partners, sexual fucking struggle. So it's actually miraculous and magical that I'm hoping to find real love now at this late stage of my life. It's miraculous and magical and also a tad delusional and ridiculous too. But love is the law, people, and true love is out there for me. I know it is. I'm witnessing it blossoming in my platonic friendships, really blossoming beautifully. So I'm not going to live in despair and give up just yet. There's hope for me yet if I can survive my own health issues, which I survived even back when I was 15, 16 in my first job as a waitress. Barely fucking survived. I used to come home on the weekends after working that job 2 days and burst into tears with emotional mental breakdown, which by then I was with my first boyfriend, whom I married, Michael. He would sit around with my mother in case, mocking and deriding me for being a screaming, hysterical, emotional wreck from working, in a job that was physically demanding because I had to run up and down stairs carrying trays of food to customers. And I wasn't equipped for it because I was exhausted even at 15, 16, 17, 18 and so on. So yes, I guess in that sense I am a freak and a failure, but I didn't have the energy reserves even then as a young girl. So I've done well to survive my entire life, really astonishingly well. I continue writing to Muriel. I didn't mind working at Susie's, except when Susie herself used to scream at me. It reminded me too much of Gisela. I was one of the few staff members who could handle it because I'd grown up with screaming Mimis myself. She treated me very well apart from that. It all went to shit when Margaret Verhoeven got some sort of major pet hate for me. At least with Susie, you knew where you stood. No underhanded, malicious backstabbing on her part. I wonder what Jamila is doing now. She was another of the manageresses who was actually, I think she was Hungarian background or Czech, I can't remember. It's funny how we all had foreign European backgrounds. Well, Margaret was Australian but had been married to a Dutchman, and hence her name, Verhoeven. Jamila, I'm pretty sure, was Hungarian. Me with my German Dutch upbringing with my mother and stepfather. Susie Dutch. Mrs. Hodemaker's married, English Cockney, married to a Dutchman as well. It was like a little European melting pot in that job. Jamila used to invite Mum and me to her home for lunch occasionally, which was very nice. I remember that well. I still remember Raima and Monica, who were both Māori. They were great women. Muriel wrote to me, "Send me your email address." Update 2022. I gave Muriel my email address, although she in turn had discredited me and slandered me to Buck the schmuck and my evil toxic mother, although I had had no idea she was friends with them both. So I had ended up cutting ties to her as it was too distressing. Muriel died a few years after this message. And I was deeply hurt by that betrayal. I grew up in her house with her kids. I lived with her. I boarded with her for 6 months while Mum and Case went to America and Holland and Europe. You'd think she would have shown me a bit of fucking loyalty, since I grew up in her household for large swathes of my childhood. No, she aligned with Buck the schmuck and my mother against me. I mean, how fucking dirty and treacherous and vile and evil was that? It still blows my fucking mind to this day. Susie might have been an old bag in her eyes, but at least she had been loyal and loving to me. Isn't that ironic? The woman who used to scream at me like a banshee at work remained loyal and loving to me. Unlike those bastards. Choose your enemies wisely. Some are just unworthy, cuntish cunts. Her son Philip hand-delivered Susie's book to me so I could read it. It was a kind of third-handed catharsis, I suppose. Ultimately, I cut ties to him also, as he had some weird, inappropriate fantasy about me. I have not forgotten that shortly after her death, it was Susie who visited me in a dream to say goodbye. Not that she actually said the words goodbye, but I saw her standing in a window with golden light radiantly streaming all around her, looking as she looked when I knew her, which was in her late 40s, full makeup and hair in a bun, and just beautiful she looked. And I knew by the colours around her, the gold and the sense of peace and radiance and joy. I knew as soon as I had that dream, I put up on Facebook, Susie van der Kwast has died. I've just dreamt of her revealing herself to me. And then immediately I got a message back from my friend Sally, sent me the link to the obituary, and somebody had written an article about, she was quite famous in Wellington, Susie van der Kwast. So there was confirmation she had died 3 weeks prior. It's weird how my spirit friends, or in David's case, enemies and ex-lovers, come to me after their death, usually 3 weeks later. It's quite astonishing. But yes, I guess the even the momentary love that I shared with them is more powerful than death, and they feel the need to say goodbye to me by revealing themselves that they've passed. And it's a great honour, and I acknowledge that it's kind of a gift to me for them to let me know that they've transitioned. It's beautiful. I mean, it wasn't beautiful when Davidson haunted me because I didn't know who it was for the first 3 days and it freaked me out, but the others, it was beautiful. That's what I mean to say. I guess in a way it was beautiful when I found out it was him through a very unusual, miraculous way on Facebook. I guess, yes, let's be fair, it was kind of beautiful the way I found out it was him, and it's an acknowledgement from that spirit that they basically fucked up to and wanted closure even as they were transitioning. So may I merit in my future solid love partnerships to have no further fuck-ups on either side, on my part or on the man's part. My mind and heart can't sustain any more major fucking fuck-ups. Just saying. It is what it is. I read her book and was astonished and upset to discover that she too had been a survivor of child sexual abuse. So she understood my suffering and valued me for my courage to survive. Those other sadists, well, they can dance in their small corner of hell. Muriel referred to me as a child as that strange little girl. So frankly, I know they all knew and did nothing to protect me. Dirty, evil people. So where was I? Oh yes, dreaming of turning cufflinks to gold hearts. I might just do that later. And Vocal Media published that this offering, today's readings of even date, under the subject taboo, because of the mention of spiritual visitations and the child sexual abuse. Well, the taboo is not mine, is it? I did not invite that abuse into my life as a young child. I was completely fucking innocent. So your version of taboo and my version of taboo are not quite in alignment. Don't victim blame and don't gaslight and don't ever fucking underestimate me as a survivor, as a thriver, and as a warrior goddess. Just saying. Anyway, on that note, we conclude today's readings of even date, and it is what it is. I'm no longer in contact with Philip for the aforementioned reasons that it got a little bit weird, and I'm no longer in contact with Muriel because she died, but she knows the truth. The truth remains the truth. And haven't heard from her daughter Rosalind in many, many years. And it's all just illusion, people. Razzle dazzle, illusory, glitchings in and out of the matrix, a mirage in a desert of malfeasance and treachery and horror. And I've walked through all those aspects, the glitching matrix, the deserts, the desecrations, the disturbances, the despair, and I've set myself free. I've set myself free, and I'm shucking off that albatross of treachery and putrescence like I shucked off Dave. It took some doing because I was truly in love with him at one time. And I'm moving on, people. I'm moving on, and I'm surrounding myself with real, authentic loves. People I think have shown real, authentic love, and when or if they prove to be otherwise, I'll just keep moving forward and hoping against hope of finding the right one, the right man for me one day, and hopefully be surrounded by a community of people who do love me and care for me and treat me with deep honour and respect and nobility, and invite a man into my body, mind and spirit who is beautiful and heartfelt, genuinely loving and kind and nurturing, and if necessary protective and generous, and chooses me once and for all. And it could happen, it could maybe not happen, but I'm going to keep manifesting it as if it's real, darlings, as if it's real. And time takes time, and true hearts and minds are always revealed, my darlings, always. Even the shock I got over Muriel was a powerful lesson, because I had, as I said, grown up with her kids and amongst her household for many years. But evil is as evil does, am I right? Anyway, wherever you are, my beautiful ones, my loving ones, my sincere, authentic ones, wherever you are in the space-time continuum, Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening. Surround yourself with good, kind, honouring people. And don't be too hard on us broken ones. We didn't have the same start you had, so remember that at times we're missing huge blocks of our life. We're just blown to smithereens by evil, cuntish cunts, and we've spent, some of us, decades trying to grow back our hearts and reintegrate, and some of us will never be, normal or fully integrated like most other people on this planet that had decent parenting and kind lives. So try to be compassionate of people like me who speak our truth and hold on to our truth as a matter of principle, if nothing else, but also as a defiance, because why should the bastards get away with having ground us down? Why should we be continuously harassed and vilified because of some other entity's low levels stink? And like the wolf, Mama T will always return, leading the pack behind me. Because I have people that do see me and hear me and recognise my power and treat me with decency. And those people are my tribe. Those people are worthy of my energy, and the rest don't matter. So God and Goddess bless on this beautiful second day of Passover. Take good care, and remember, as always, never ever let the bastards grind you, me, us down. Big agape love to you all. Hold your line. Hold the love in your heart precious, and share it with those that you know will deeply, deeply cherish it and nourish it and return it to you in kind. Bye for now.